this was one of the cooler moments in the match. I went for a guard pass, and then Eric goes for an armbar, and I escaped. A lot of people probably wouldn't even notice because that happened pretty quick, but if you watch in slow motion, so I'm looking up to set up an X pass here. So I step to Eric's left side, and then he's going to high leg over with his left leg, and you can see my left hand is posted on the inside of his leg to pull my hand free and just narrowly escape that armbar. So that was a pretty cool jiu-jitsu sequence. What's up, guys? This is a high-level no-gi match breakdown. Josh Presley, myself on the left, and Eric McDonald on the right. Just going to give you some thoughts about this match. So, yeah, this is a really high-level no-gi match. Eric pulled guard. I figured a lot of this match would be me trying to pass Eric's guard. Now, originally, I was going to try to force him to play on his left side because I've watched a couple videos of his matches. He really seems to favor playing on his right side. So that was one strategy I had, but he's really good at funneling me to that side. So eventually I just said, fuck it, and just started playing on that side. Pretty comfortable there anyway, so I just wanted to get to it and get in the action. And this is a lot of the match, me trying to pass his guard. See me trying to force him to that left side again. Now I try to go for a leg weave pass here. I'm trying to get my hand through the legs to control the legs. And now we end up with Eric playing on his right side. And I'm trying to pass guard here. So he's switching between seated and supine positions. And now he's inverting. This is kind of a berimbolo-ish style move here, and this is where I get a good attack off with a toe hold. So you can see he's trying to reach through and grab my hip, I think, for the back take. And now I'm locking up the toe hold, and we start to roll. And unfortunately, we roll right out of bounds. Now, that's one thing I always say to my students, that out of bounds is always such a big factor in jiu-jitsu matches because every match goes out of bounds at some point. So the rule there is he escaped the submission, and then we end up restarting standing. And the ref intervened there because technically you're supposed to have a grip before you sit down to guard. I knew he was likely to pull, so I had to try to be kind of quick and creative with these takedowns. I try to go for an arm drag here, and then Eric used that to sit to guard. So we're back attacking the guard again. So Eric's got the grip on the ankle. He knocks me down to a hip. Now he gets up. Now I did not plan to play bottom at all in this match, so as soon as he knocked me down, my goal was to try to get back up immediately. So I fought my way back up. Now I'm back on top trying to pass the half guard. So this is where a lot of the action is taking place. You can see me with a low head. I'm trying to get past that knee shield and try to get some pressure. Eric's doing a good job of keeping it frames and not letting me get too close. See how he's switching between seated and supine guards. Looks like he's trying to switch under for a waiter style sweep there. He's got a tricky guard, so, I had to be mindful of not being too aggressive and just blindly rushing in because I didn't want to get caught with a submission. You kind of have to, piece by piece, try to take apart the guard. And Eric's good at bringing that high leg over, so if you put too much pressure towards his head, he's going to bring his left leg over and then try to go for a really quick armbar. We reset in the center, just try to get right back in to try to get good pressure. And you can see, like, if you watch someone that's got a good guard like Eric, most of the time they're spending their time bringing their knees to their chest. Like, look at this whole sequence. His knees are basically right against his chest. So as a guard passer, that makes it really challenging to try to pass the guard because you always have to try to deal with the legs. And then they're going to try to get hooks and use their feet and just try to make it challenging. So I enjoy the challenge. I feel like jiu-jitsu, it's always tougher to pass a tricky guard than it is to try to sweep. I mean, some of you might disagree, but I think the guard is like the essence of jiu-jitsu, so to try to pass that, if you can get really good at passing. Now here, I feel like I should be going for body locks, and I see so many opportunities here. Eric goes for that quick armbar. That was a really quick attack. I'll put that at the start of the video. That was probably one of the nicer moves in the match. And now here, I'm just trying to get busy with the pass. He's just doing a really good job of pushing me away. One of my goals here is to try to get chest-to-chest half guard. I mean, obviously, Eric knows that. He's doing there. I finally went for a body lock. I got to punch in more body locks. It looked like I was trying to reach over the top, maybe for a Kimura there. But Eric's doing a really good job. And from Eric's perspective, from a strategy, so this match, there's no points until the final 2 minutes. So I believe that Eric's strategy was to try to use his guard to tie me up and then really only aggressively try to score in those last 2 minutes. I mean, it's a smart strategy. I have a lot more experience than Eric, so he's got to try to find ways that he can try to beat me. So obviously he's going for submission at all times. So am I. But these higher level matches, like, the margin of error is so small. So you really have to know what you're doing. You can see I got the right hand on the hip, trying to knee cut. Eric switches to the ankle. He tries to knock me back, try to cover the hips, try to step over. And anytime I get close for the pass, he brings that high leg over again. And then that just a lot of times forces a reset of the position. And now see, I'm getting a little bit closer. I'm getting kind of my head under his chin, so I was able to make him feel a little bit more of the pressure. There's just over a minute left in the match and still no score yet. At this point, I'm thinking to get some points on the board, I'm either going to have to score a guard pass or while that's happening, get the back or get the mount. And Eric, I think, is going to start to be more aggressive with his sweep attempts. He's got the feet on the hips. And the key for me as a guard passer is just to keep that forward pressure. Don't let him any time and space to just think about what he's going to do to attack. Is to just try to constantly keep that forward pressure. See, I'm using my head right underneath his chin. It's a detail that I learned from Ryan Hall. Works really well to use more pressure. Eric inverts again. Here I was thinking about going for that toe hold, but it's a lot harder to get the toe hold when you don't have the secondary leg trapped. This is more just to try to get a reaction. Taking some deep breaths to try to keep my heart rate down. But, it's a grind out there. Like, you're battling, you're fighting. It's definitely tiring. I was getting a little bit tired towards the end of the match, but I felt like I kept a good pace. I didn't want to go too aggressive at the start. So time kind of winds down here, and then we end up in overtime, which is a golden score. Honestly, this overtime is kind of controversial. I just want to focus more on the actual good details of the match, which there was a lot. Body lock pass there. I need to do more body locks. Then we get to overtime, which honestly was a little bit weird. The tournament was ADCC rules, and then before the adult division started, they said, actually, we're going to switch to IBJJF rules, which I've never experienced before. And in ADCC, you lose a point for pulling guard, and you don't in IBJJF. So this really affects the overtime and the golden score. So Eric quickly pulls guard right away. Now he's in this position that he wants to be. And from an overtime perspective, two high-level grapplers, I personally think it's better to be on the bottom when you have a chance to come up and get the sweep. I've already spent a lot of time trying to pass his guard, so this is going to be a difficult thing to do. Really hard to get off the takedown at the start. Eric comes up strong on the double leg. See, I told you he was going to be more aggressive when the score mattered. And we missed that. Now, I end up in a decent position here, but it's kind of weird because he's trying to pull guard while I'm trying to take him down. And then he's trying to get underneath for that waiter sweep. And then we kind of end up out of bounds again. Like I said, the out of bounds just plays so much in jiu-jitsu. That's why the CJI bowl is pretty cool. So this is the end of the match. I'll kind of just let it play through and then add more thoughts as we go. So I attack. Eric inverts and goes for a leg. I tried to spin out of that. He let go and tried to come up for the sweep. I invert for the bolo and start attacking the arm right away. And you can see, look where Eric's hand is. So I still kind of have him in a shotgun armbar when the referee stepped in, and we were both kind of like, what are you doing? Like, the rule is you let it go until the submission is escaped, which now Eric pulled his arm out, but then it was all fucked up because we stopped. So, again, and I mean, I'm just explaining this. I'm not crying about the referees. Everybody makes mistakes. I've fucked up a bunch of times as a ref. He goes for the leg. I go for the bolo, and right away, look, I'm attacking the submission. Attack, because he should have to escape to get out of that. And there was only a few seconds left, too, so... just a heartbreaker way to end that match. I mean, in my eyes, whether that ended as a draw or not, that was still a loss for me. I want to have a dominant win. I want to either win by submission or clear by points. But I think it says a lot when even your opponent steps in and says that was the wrong call by the referee. So, respect to everyone involved. Like I said, I've reffed a million times. I know it's hard, and they expect these refs to ref all day perfectly with no break. So it's a hard job, but to me, that was just a blown call by the referee. So it is what it is. Congrats to Eric McDonald. He's got a bright future in jiu-jitsu. And I'm just an old guy with a few matches left. So on to the next one.